Imagine a galactic summit, a massive dome glowing with alien lights, 47 species from across the stars, all eyes on one human. A plasma bolt rips through his chest. He should be dead. Blood stains his jacket, but he doesn't fall. Instead, he keeps talking, grabs his attacker, and drags him to the podium to teach a lesson in unity. This is a story of humanity's unbreakable spirit. Stick around. You won't believe what happens next. We're in a galactic Concord, a futuristic auditorium stretching wide, its polished floors reflecting soft bioluminescent walls. Delegates fill the tiered seats, a wild mix of scales, fur, tentacles, and crystalline forms that shimmer like living jewels. The air hums with recyclers working overtime to balance 47 different atmospheres, creating a faint buzz that usually calms nerves. But today, tension crackles. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy, reptilian warriors, feathered scholars, gaseous diplomats, watch with suspicion. They're here to discuss trade routes, alliances, peace. So far, no fights, no chaos. Until the human steps up. Marcus Kane, Earth's ambassador, takes the podium. He's tall, broad-shouldered, with calm confidence that unsettles the room. Humans come from a death world, a planet of volcanoes, storms, and predators that would kill most species in a heartbeat. Aliens call us Deathworlders, a label dripping with fear and disdain. They think we're savages, a species that spent millennia fighting itself. Marcus knows this. He's here to prove them wrong. Esteemed delegates, Marcus begins, his voice clear, carrying across the dome. I stand before you not just as Earth's voice, but as a call for unity. We're different scales, claws, minds, but those differences are our strength. The crowd shifts uneasily. A reptilian general, Varker of the Nexary Dominion, sits 2 rows back, his 6 eyes narrowing. Varker's a legend, a warrior who's conquered 3 star systems. His ceremonial armor gleams, battle scars etched into its surface. To him, humans are a plague, spreading chaos wherever they go. His mandibles click, a sound like a blade being sharpened. Marcus keeps going, unfazed. Unity isn't easy. It's like building a bridge across a stormy sea. You need trust, not fear, to make it hold. His words are bold, almost defiant. He gestures broadly, his long arms sweeping the air. When I look at you all, I don't see threats. I see partners, allies, friends we haven't made yet. A feathered delegate from Zorth tilts her head, intrigued. But Varker snorts, a sound heavy with centuries of military pride and barely hidden contempt. He doesn't trust his human, doesn't trust his talk of peace. Then it happens. A blinding flash lights up the auditorium. A plasma bolt screams through the air, striking Marcus square in the chest. The distinctive whine of a military-grade rifle echoes, followed by the sickening thud of superheated energy meeting flesh. The room freezes. Delegates gasp, chirp, and wail in 47 different languages, a chaotic symphony of panic. The Valari delegation starts their eerie death chant, a low, mournful hum. Crystalline Zephyrians emit frequencies that make teeth ache. Security drones hum to life, emerging from hidden alcoves, their weapons locking onto the shooter. Krell Tava, a Nexary ambassador with shimmering scales, whirls around. There stands General Varker, his plasma rifle still smoking, his crest fully extended, displaying battle honors like a banner war. Enough! Varker bellows, his voice booming with the authority of a fleet commander. I won't listen to this creature preach unity while his kind infest the galaxy. The crowd's chaos spikes. Tentacles flail, claws scrape chairs, voices clash. Krell's mandibles click nervously. He's seen war start over less. But all eyes snap back to Marcus. He should be dead. A plasma bolt to the chest obliterates vital organs, disrupts cells at the molecular level. No species survives that. Yet Marcus is still standing. Blood spreads across his formal jacket, a crimson stain like spilled ink. He staggers, coughs once, and looks at the smoking hole where his heart should be. Then impossibly he speaks. Well, that was rude, he says, his voice steady, almost amused. The auditorium falls silent, as if the galaxy itself holds its breath. Every eye, sensor, and photoreceptor locks onto Marcus. He sways slightly, but his gaze is firm. As I was saying, he continues, building bridges means looking past fear. Krell feels his lungs stall. The human is talking, bleeding, alive, with a hole in his chest that should have ended him instantly. This defies biology, physics, reason. Plasma rifles don't wound, they destroy. Yet Marcus stands, using his own assassination attempt as a lecture slide. Blood drips to the polished floor, each drop loud in the silence. Marcus takes a step forward. General Varker, he says, his voice carrying a faint strain but still that infuriating human confidence. You've just shown us what happens when fear wins. The Valari's death chant stops. The Zephyrians' frequencies shift to a curious hum. Delegates lean forward, their earlier panic replaced by fascination. No one's seen anything like this. Marcus's hand moves to his chest. Fingers touching the wound. They come away red, sticky with blood that looks too bright. Too alien to Krell's eyes. You see, Marcus says, gesturing to the crowd, humans come from a world that's tried to kill us for millions of years. Storms that tear cities apart. Beasts that hunt in packs. Diseases that rewrite our bodies. We survived it all. He points to his wound, almost casual. It's not even my worst day this month. Varker's 6 eyes widen, his rifle still in his claws, but forgotten. He expected a corpse, not a conversation. Marcus takes another step, leaving a crimson trail. You shot me because I'm different, he says, locking eyes with Varker. Because humans scare you. That's okay. Fear's natural. It's kept your species alive, just like it has ours. Security drones close in, their weapons humming. But Marcus raises a hand. Stand down, he calls, his voice sharp enough to pause even battle-hardened bots. Let's make this a lesson, not a fight. The lead security officer, a 4-armed Kraken with enough firepower to level a city, hesitates. Ambassador Kane, he tried to kill you. Protocol demands. Marcus cuts him off with a pained but amused smile. Protocol didn't plan for me still talking, did it? I'm a bit lightheaded, sure, but we're not done here. The crowd murmurs, some in awe, some in disbelief. Krell's scales ripple with unease. This human is rewriting the rules of survival. Marcus turns back to Varker, who's shrinking under the weight of his own actions. General, Marcus says, his voice softer now, like a teacher addressing a nervous student. You thought humans were dangerous, unpredictable. Am I right? Varker's mandibles click, a nervous tick. You should be dead, he whispers, his voice cracking like brittle stone. Marcus tilts his head. Should I? Says who? He takes another step, blood dripping steadily now, each drop hitting the floor like a metronome in the silent dome. Humans come from a death world. Marcus continues, his voice steady despite his paling face. We've survived radiation that would cook most species, predators that make your worst nightmares look tame, wars that scarred our planet. Plasma burns. He gestures to his chest, almost flippant. We've dealt with worse. Our bodies adapt, rebuild, keep going. He pulls a small medical kit from his jacket, standard for humans, apparently, and starts applying a biofoam patch to his wound. His hands are steady, like he's done this before. Krell leans forward, his earlier disdain crumbling. This isn't a savage. This is something else. A survivor who chooses words over weapons. Marcus keeps talking as he works on his wound. The galaxy's full of fear. When we don't understand something, we try to destroy it. Varker's not alone in that. He glances at the general, who's trembling now, his rifle hanging loose. But fear blinds us. It hides possibilities. What if we're wrong about each other? The crowd is riveted. A feathered Zorathian delegate nods slowly. A gaseous Silveran pulses with curiosity. Even as Zephyrian's hum shifts to a tone Krell recognizes as respect. Marcus finishes patching his wound, the biofoam sealing the hole with a faint hiss. I'm not angry, General, he says, his voice growing stronger. Fears save your kind, just like it saved mine. But here's the thing. We can choose to move past it. Then comes a moment no one expects. Marcus reaches out, his bloodied hand gentle, and grabs Varker's ornate armor. The general flinches, but Marcus's grip is soft, almost friendly. Come on, Marcus says, starting to walk back to the podium, pulling Varker along. Let's talk this out. Varker's claws scrape the floor, leaving thin scratches in the polished stone. This warrior, who's commanded fleets, looks like a child being led to a timeout. His 6 eyes dart between terror and shame. The sight burns into Krell's memory. A human, bleeding from a fatal wound, dragging a Nexary general across the auditorium like it's nothing. "This is impossible," Varker wheezes, his voice thin with panic. "You can't be standing." Marcus coughs, a speck of blood on his lips, but grins. "General, assumptions are dangerous. They make fools of us all." The crowd watches, stunned as Marcus reaches a podium and props Varker beside him like a guest speaker. "General," Marcus says, his tone encouraging, "tell everyone why you shot me." The silence is deafening, the hum of the air recyclers suddenly loud. Varker's eyes flicker, his armor dented from the drag. You're supposed to be dead," he stammers. Marcus nods, patient. "Yeah, you said that. But why shoot me?" Varker's voice breaks. "I thought you were a threat, a danger to us all." Marcus turns to the crowd, still holding Varker's arm. "This is it," he says. "The general shot me because his biology said I'd die. Not because I'd done anything wrong, but because he couldn't imagine me surviving." He loosens his tie with his free hand, wrapping it around his wound like a makeshift bandage. Blood seeps through, but he barely flinches. "How many of you," he asks the delegates, "have judged another species by your own limits?" The question hangs heavy. Krell feels a pang of guilt. He's called Kraden's brutes for their love of combat, dismissed Silverans as weak for their gaseous forms. Marcus continues, tying the bandage tight. "Fear's not the enemy. Ignorance is. It wears armor, carries rifles, and shoots what it doesn't understand." Varker makes a sound, almost a whimper, his pride crumbling under Marcus's calm. "Here's what's interesting," Marcus says, facing Varker directly. "You didn't shoot me because I threatened you. You shot me because my existence challenged your worldview." His voice is gentle, curious, not accusing. "What did you think would happen, General? That the galaxy would cheer for killing the human?" Varker's eyes glisten with Nexary tears, clear fluid streaking his scale face. "I thought they'd understand," he whispers. "Understand what?" Marcus presses, still kind. "That fear justifies violence. That differences should be erased." Varker's shoulders slump, his rifle clattering to the floor. "I was wrong," he says, voice barely audible. "I was so wrong." Marcus smiles, the first real warmth since the shot. "General, that's the most important thing said here today." He turns to the crowd, blood soaking his tie, but his voice clear. "This is the future of the galaxy, not erasing differences, but admitting when we're wrong about them." The delegates are silent, hanging on his words. Marcus adjusts his bandage, wincing slightly, the first sign he's human, not invincible. "You're all wondering how I'm standing," he says, a hint of humor in his tone. "Humans come from a death world. We've survived things you can't imagine, radiation, plagues, wars that reshaped our planet." A Kraten delegate raises an arm. "Our data says plasma to the heart kills instantly." Marcus chuckles, wincing again. "Yeah, your data's not wrong, for most species. But humans? We've been through worse. This," he points to his chest. "Tuesday, I got hit with a sonic disruptor. Thursday, a Zephyrian tried a crystal dart. I'm starting to think there's a bet going on to see who takes me out." The crowd ripples with nervous laughter. Varker chokes, his tears flowing harder. Marcus keeps going, unwrapping his tie to check his wound. "We don't survive by luck. We adapt. Every disaster, every war taught us something. Plasma burns? They're like radiation wounds from our atomic age. We've got tricks to handle them." He pulls another med patch from his kit, applying it with practiced ease. Survival's not about being the strongest. It's about being the most adaptable. Krell's view shifts. These aren't monsters. They're survivors who choose compassion over conquest. He speaks, his voice carrying across the dome. "Your species could have conquered us all. Why choose peace?" Marcus pauses, surprised. "Ambassador Krell, why conquer? We've learned violence only breeds more violence." Real strength is cooperation. Varker's sobs grow louder, his armor shaking. I tried to kill you, he whispers. How can you stand there helping me? Marcus finishes his bandage and looks at him, eyes warm. Because that's what humans do, General. We survive, adapt, and choose to be better than our worst fears. He gestures to the crowd. Look around. Do you see savages? Or do you see beings who want to help, not harm? Varker's tears stream freely, his pride broken by Marcus's kindness. I don't understand, he says. I shot you in front of everyone. Why be kind? Marcus grins, steadying Varker with a hand on his shoulder. It's not the worst thing I've faced. Last month, an Andromedan ambassador swung a ceremonial sword at me, ruined my best suit. A few delegates chuckle, the tension easing. Marcus faces the auditorium one last time. Today, General Varker gave us a gift, a chance to see how fear divides us and how understanding unites us. Varker's tears flow harder at the gratitude. Marcus's voice, though weaker now, carries. I'm announcing a galactic medical exchange. We'll share human trauma techniques with anyone who wants them. He gestures to his bandage, smirking. If we're going to keep getting shot at summits, let's all learn to patch up. The dome is silent for a heartbeat. Then Krell stands, his scales glistening with tears. He claps, the sound echoing like thunder. By the stars, he calls, this is true diplomacy. Others rise, Valari Zarathians, Kratans, Silverans. Claws click, tentacles slap, crystals chime. The applause becomes a symphony, shaking the auditorium's foundations. Marcus, bleeding and bandaged, supports Varker with one hand, waving to the crowd with the other. For the first time, he looks moved. Thank you, he says, voice soft over the roar. Now, I need a doctor. Blood loss is making me woozy, and I'd rather not faint mid-speech. He helps Varker to a seat, patting his shoulder, then sits carefully, like someone who just remembered they're injured. Medics rush in as the applause fades. Delegates disperse, but Krell approaches Marcus, who's pale but alert. Ambassador Kane, Krell says, voice thick, I want to learn about human resilience, compassion. Can we arrange a cultural exchange? Marcus grins, his smile bright despite the pain. Over coffee, Krell. I've bled enough for one summit. He chuckles. Bet Varker buys me a drink once he stops crying. After this, I deserve a good coffee and maybe a medal for not ruining the floor. As medics escort Marcus away, Krell smiles, a rare feeling after decades. The galaxy just saw something new, a species that turns survival into an art and uses it for peace, not war. There's hope for us all. This is humanity, not just surviving, but thriving through kindness. Could you keep talking after a plasma bolt? Comment below, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's build bridges, not battles. See you next time